Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry, I had my files mixed up. Welcome to our
God damn, that was terrible production, Steve.
You know what? Let's just bring him in anyway. It's my fault, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome our newly found friend to the show because I messed up the tiles. Let's welcome our friend Kevin Oestreicher from Locked On Commanders. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. We'll give you the round of applause here. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you having me on. I guess I'm taking over. This is a Ravens takeover over here, so I guess I'm taking over the show.
Man, I guess it is. Let me see. We got
that y'all Ravens fans that left get to come back to our fans.
Yeah, well, thank you taking your time out of your day to join us, and we just want to get to talk about the Ravens. It's always good to talk about the Ravens or the other opposing team with someone knowledgeable. We like to talk about ourselves, but nothing beats talking about it with someone who's actually in the business every day, down in the weeds, kind of like we are with the Commanders. So yeah. I think this should be a good matchup on Sunday. So let's just get right into it, man. First and foremost, as we talk about people who come on our show all the time, can you just tell us your fan story? How did you become a fan of the Ravens and to get where you are today with Locked On Ravens?
Yeah, well, I'm from Baltimore. Been here pretty much my whole life, and for me, the first time I remember just football, NFL in general, was that Steelers-Seahawks Super Bowl. Maybe I'm dating myself as being a little young, but that was my first introduction to it.
Yes,
so I know I'm 26. I look like I'm 12, so I hear it all the time. But that was really when I got into it, and obviously being from Baltimore, my family introduced me to the Ravens, and really from there, it just grew my fandom and have, been all on board with this team. I've had the pleasure of covering them now for the last 6 seasons on Locked On Ravens and last handful, almost a decade over on USA Today at the Ravens Wire. So it's been a heck of a journey for me. And, this team has been through plenty of ups and downs, Super Bowls and quarterback changes, although the longevity of the Ravens is something I don't take for granted in terms of, we see franchises go through changes all the time, year after year. Baltimore is one of the steadier franchises in the league. And, for that, I'm very grateful for it because, I know Washington's just been through an owner change. I know that's been a very refreshing thing over in Commander land. So hopefully it's to stay and things get better from here on out.
You have no idea.
It's a new world. Where we at 4-1 is definitely a nice surprise. It's added bonus, icing on the cake. We're just happy to be here.
He's way nicer about us. I hope the Ravens all burn in hell. I hope everything bad in life happens to them and only them.
Except for Lamar.
Except for Lamar, except this guy. I like this guy.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it.
So I'm going to give you this. You're a lot nicer towards us than the general populace of your fan base. I'm going to get right to it. We've had this weird dichotomy with both Ravens fans and Bears fans this year, where we're happy. We seem to have found a quarterback, and hey, he's great and everything's great. And then Bears fans immediately had to make these really bad.
The Gremlin's going to take over.
Phil was on a roll, but I guess karma means that he wasn't going to get his point across. Because
he looking like a wrestling promoter. Let me tell you something, Kevin.
Phil. Long story short, what he's saying is a couple weeks ago, Bears fans have been putting down Jayden Daniels just to prop up Caleb Williams, just saying that we're running a college style offense. Caleb's being asked to do a whole lot. And then the last week, I think we're starting to see, just on X, and it's a very small population, a lot of Ravens fans are kind of starting to doing the same, because they found a few Commanders fans, and I will admit there's probably one or two out there that they're taking out of context, that people are saying that Jayden is probably a better passing quarterback than Lamar was in his first 5 games of his career. They're just taking that out of context. And that's where Phil was going before he froze up.
Yes, it was. I was basically going to say, it's like we say, hey, we think Jayden can be as great as Lamar. He runs well, and he actually is probably a better pure passer compared to rookie Lamar. And that's always the comparison. You compare rookie with rookie. And the burrs up the ass of Ravens fans when you say something like that is insane, because then it's like, apparently y'all have the greatest defense in the history of the world this year, because that's what
not quite.
You haven't seen a defense like ours. You're 31st against the pass. What? Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, where did this hate come from? Like, are we? It's like all of a sudden it's like we were a laughing stock for 30 years. We're finally good. We finally look competent, and now everybody's mad. It's like we just want to be part of the party. That's all.
Yeah, it's like a, hey man, we're here. We're happy to be here. Like that's kind of where I feel like it is. But I'm gonna go maybe hot take, maybe not, maybe a hot take. I believe that this all started, and there may be a couple points, but maybe the most recent point, I'm gonna say preseason, when the Commanders broke the Ravens streak
last year.
And Cosme was going all crazy, and Joey Sly was running around holding the L up and everything. That got a lot of Ravens fans is like, okay, what's this? So yeah. I think that's maybe where some of that, at least recently, I know there are other things you can point to, but I'm going to say that's where that started. And in terms of Lamar versus Jayden, I mean, and Jayden said it, right? Like, he doesn't want to be compared to Lamar. He doesn't want to be compared to anybody. He just wants to be Jayden Daniels, not the next whoever. And I think the situations, Lamar and Jayden, their rookie years, Lamar was thrown into a Joe Flacco offense. If you take rookie Lamar and where Joe Flacco was, I don't think you could find two different players, like two more different guys than what Lamar's skill set was versus what Joe Flacco's skill set was at that time. They had to scramble and change their entire offense. And I think one of the things that Jayden actually does better than Lamar did his rookie season is Jayden is a low mistake player. We've seen that through the first 5 weeks. He is good at protecting the football and not putting it in harm's way. Lamar had a fumbling issue his rookie season. Obviously, maybe not the best time to bring this up because he fumbled against Cincinnati and almost lost in the game. But he's been a lot better with the fumbles ever since his rookie season. And he's been a lot better protecting the football. And that's one of the things I love about this matchup. We're talking about Sunday. Two really low mistake quarterbacks. But man, I can't say enough good about Jayden Daniels, man. Like to me, when you're trying to prop up a Caleb Williams or prop up a Jayden Daniels, I mean, I think to me, you can prop up both guys without tearing down the other one. It's just like, oh, well, they're doing a different style of thing, and they're doing what's best for their quarterback, or at least what they believe is best for their quarterback. And Washington has found success with it. Like, I don't care what offense you run. If you're winning games, run the offense. I don't care. Just go out there and score touchdowns, score points, and win games. But for me, Lamar Jackson, Jayden Daniels, this is an electric quarterback matchup. And look, I think it's kind of funny how this game has come from, the Ravens will probably clean up and maybe Washington makes a run, right when the schedule came out. So now it's like, oh, hold on now. This might be one of the best games we see all season.
Yeah, fair enough. And kind of going off what you just said, give us a quick rundown on the Ravens coming out of 23, going into the free agency period, the draft camp, and then take us to where we are right now, where they're sitting at 3-2. Just kind of give us a quick synopsis of how that turn of events went for you guys in the offseason.
Yeah, so really tough loss to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. I know the big point there was they didn't run the football, which was still forever. It's going to be ingrained in Ravens fans' minds of why did they not run the football? It's what got them, or they didn't do it. And everybody knew that they were going to lose players in the offseason and coaches. It was that good of a year for them. So they lose Mike McDonald like 3 days after the loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and he's doing great over there. Multiple assistant coaches became defensive coordinators elsewhere. I know Washington was involved in the Anthony Weaver sweepstakes.
Sure was. Yep.
Multiple different positions. But then they go, and a lot of defensive playmakers, Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, Jadeveon Clowney, all those guys depart. They lose 3 starters on their offensive line, guys like Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses. And so their plan, obviously they bring in Derrick Henry. That was their big free agent addition of the offseason. And they end up not really replacing anybody else. They had these succession plans with young players, and that's what they went with. So they drafted Nate Wiggins in the first round, and they were using some of their second-year guys, third-year guys, fourth-year guys to replace their vets, as opposed to go out there and sign 15 vets and try to replace them that way. Pretty rough start in some aspects early in the season. The offensive line certainly was one of the weak points the first 2 weeks. One of the main reasons they started off 0-2. Lamar Jackson, was playing like an MVP so far through these first 5 weeks. But, it was hard to kind of justify, well, you let 3 starters walk. You didn't really replace them all that much. They've played better over the last 3 weeks. I think that's one of the big things for any offense. It all starts up front. I don't care who your quarterback is or how good or bad your quarterback is. If you can't protect for him, then your offense is probably not going to reach anywhere near its potential. Defensively, they've struggled in the pass game, the pass defense. Their run defense is incredible. They're number 1 in the league in multiple different categories there. Their front is amazing with Nnamdi Madubuike, David Ajabo, Odafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy, Travis Jones, you name it. Those guys have been great. But on the back end, Marcus Williams grades out as one of the worst safeties in the league, and he signed a 5-year, $70 million deal with the Ravens a couple of years ago. So, that's money not well spent right now, although he was good his first couple of years, but just health issues this year, not great. Marlon Humphrey's played a lot better this season, has had some miscommunication breakdowns here and there, but he is back to playing like the Marlon Humphrey everybody knows. Brandon Stevens, I'd say up and down for him so far, was awesome last year, stepped up when Marlon was injured, but he has the thing to not turn his head when the ball is thrown. So he doesn't get his head around, which can be a very bad thing when you're talking about locating the football. You can't locate it if your head's not turned to it. Kyle Hamilton had a struggling start. I'll say first 2 weeks, but he's back to being Kyle Hamilton, no doubt there. So 24 Ravens, look, they were in a hole at 0-2. They needed to beat Dallas. They did, and then they almost didn't after the fourth quarter leads.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're looking out. We're looking out for the NFC East here, although I know they need to get a win here against Washington to move them to 4-2. Lamar Jackson, 21-1 against the NFC in his career as a starter. The one loss is my favorite non-favorite stat ever. One loss was to a quarterback that you guys know very well, Daniel Jones. Out of all the quarterbacks, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, the man who shows up twice a year to play.
Us. Washington gets his 79-yard rushing every time. He didn't do it.
He owns the whole state of Maryland. Then, man, that's crazy. He owns the
Both
DMV
sides.
area.
Yeah.
He's a DMV Jesus.
That's my favorite stat.
Yeah.
Another stat is the Ravens are 15-2 against rookie quarterbacks at home in John Harbaugh's era, and the 2 they've lost to, Mitch Trubisky and the Chicago Bears, and Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just the weirdest quarterbacks you could ever imagine. Lamar.
Wait. I got a question. Didn't they lose to RG3 and Kirk Cousins both their rookie years?
That's Lamar. Lamar wasn't there.
Yeah, Lamar.
Lamar wasn't there. Okay,
That was 12. That was 12.
That was 12.
Yeah, Lamar wasn't there. That's why. Y'all heard that. Lamar.
Yeah. Commander Nash says, I remember standing next to Derrick Henry on the field a few years ago versus Titans big dude. You can't stop that. He's a Mack truck, man. He is a straight up Mack truck. And that's one of my biggest fears is what's going to happen. Because our run defense is ranked low. Inverse of your guys, your pass defense is ranked very low. So we're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. We're pretty good against the pass. You guys are not so good against it. So interesting to see where we go from there. So for 2024 though, have there been any surprises to you thus far, sitting at 3-2 going into week 6?
I would say the biggest surprise for the Ravens so far this season, I'll say, I know it's a big topic of conversation this week. I'll say it's Roquan Smith. He was better in the Cincinnati game, but compared to the Roquan Smith that we saw last year and that we saw in Chicago, it's been a struggle for Roquan this season. He came in looking pretty out of shape. Whether he was or not is a different story, but he just looked slower on the field. Has been very bad in coverage this year. One of the things he's excelled at over the course of his career. He still hits you, still the leader of this defense, still knows where to go, and is a very smart football player. But it's been a bit of a struggle for Roquan to start the year. I don't expect that to continue. I expect him to continue to improve, much like we saw against Cincinnati in week 5. Yeah. But I think a lot of people with Patrick Queen leaving, it was all the questions were about Trenton Simpson. I'm like, okay, and Trenton's been great. Like, I think stepping in for Patrick Queen when he's been asked to play, he's been awesome. But especially, you can go to that week 1 game, Kansas City. I don't know why Roquan was put in the slot, but he was put in the slot against Rashee Rice. And again, I don't know which, there are a select few linebackers that can win that matchup anyway, but you could usually trust Roquan against tight ends, trust Roquan against running backs. It's been a bit of a struggle for him this season. So I'd say his slow start is the biggest surprise for me.
Roquan Smith. Okay. One of the things that surprised me so far, and this is because I'm a greedy fantasy football player, is I have Mark Andrews on 2 fantasy teams so far. And boy, what a big no fault of his own, but what a big letdown so far. And it seemed like for the first, was it week 1 or 2, Isaiah Likely was a primary target. Yeah. And then Andrews just got started last week. So do you think that we might see something from Andrews moving forward? Do you think last week was an indicator of an upward trend for him, or do you think it'll continue to be Likely and him kind of spread out between the two?
I think that it's going to be some level of both. I think that the way that teams are defending Mark Andrews, and the biggest example of this was in week 1, Kansas City made an effort to double Mark Andrews, play cloud covers, whatever. They were not going to let him beat the Chiefs. That was not going to happen. And teams are respecting Mark Andrews like that. But the big difference in Baltimore this year with their pass offense as opposed to other years, and we saw sprinkles of this last year, but it's gone full effect this one, is in the past, Lamar's whole thing was, all right, I'm going to chuck this thing up. Mark Andrews is going to be down there somewhere. He's going to catch it, and we're going to roll. This year, he's spreading the ball around. He hit 9 different receivers against Cincinnati in week 5. We're seeing different players getting involved in the offense, so it's not necessarily Lamar being laser-focused on 1 or 2 targets. It's Lamar spreading the ball around to the point where, in week 4, Justice Hill was their biggest receiver. He's a running back. He had 6 catches, and he was their leading receiver. So it's always going to be somebody different, and that's different than what we've seen in the past with this Ravens team, because usually it's Mark gets 10 targets, catches 7 of them, and he's the guy. But now there are 9 different guys, 7 different guys, 4 different guys that make an impact throughout the game. And for people in Baltimore, that is a very welcome sight, because Lamar is taking the stuff that is given to him. He's not trying to force feed the ball to somebody. It's something that we have been saying forever here in Baltimore. If he can take that next step and just take what the defense gives him, it opens up so many different things. So I expect Mark to get more involved as the year goes on. I don't think the Mark that we're seeing now is the Mark we're going to get come week 10, week 12, whatever, as we get later in the year. But I don't expect him to be the target hog and the target share monster that he was in this Ravens offense in the past in this year's offense.
Fair.
I'm withholding comment on my thoughts on Mark Andrews.
going back to the same game which you talked about with the Cosme and the who did he hurt of? Who did
he cheap shot a defensive back?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's
because there was also the joint practice leading up to it. There was the fight between Forbes and Tylan Wallace, and Devin Duvernay came in there. So man, there's some interesting blows between these two teams.
There's definite chippiness when these two teams play.
But we've been so bad. This might actually be the future of a rivalry, which is pretty awesome.
That'd be cool. I'd actually like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look, anytime that these two teams have played and there's something on the line, it usually ends up being a really good game. Whether it be the 2012 game with RG3 and then Kirk Cousins coming at the end, whether it be one of the first games at FedEx Field in '97, Ravens came to town, beat us 20-17. Both teams, Ravens were trying to prove something because they were, only about 2-3 years into being in Baltimore. They're on the come up, and we were a playoff bound team, or we thought we were. That year as well. So, there's definitely some different points you can look at. You look at Ravens, you look at, whether it be the Redskins, the football team, the Commanders. There always seems to be a time where these two teams play and it ends up just being just an absolute slugfest in some way or another, whether it's tons of points or it's just these two teams just beating the absolute crap out of each other. There's a unique little rivalry there that it's not, it's not us against the Eagles, the Cowboys, or the Giants or anything like that, but it's definitely, there's a chippiness when these two teams play. Always has been.
Yeah. And I think it's great. Like, and I expect that to be the case this time around too, especially because you have Roquan, and obviously everybody's seen the comments, and something that Roquan loves to trash talk. It's not a surprise. He said stuff like that. That's just who he is. But man, you see an improved Commanders team, and a team that like is on the come up versus a Ravens team that coming into the year had Super Bowl aspirations and are still trying to strengthen their hold. I mean, Pittsburgh is Mike Tomlin's going to do his voodoo magic and, somehow have that team over 500 again this year. So they need every win they can get. So we're going to see how it all plays out for them, but I expect a good game.
And Kevin, I brought up the injury report reported today by both teams, and do us a favor. Let's walk through the injuries and tell us, are any of these impactful? Are they precautionary? And do you think they'll have an impact on the game on Sunday?
Yeah. So Marlon Humphrey returned to practice with the ankle. That's where I'll start. He left Cincinnati in a boot, so wasn't necessarily sure what that was going to look like for him with the ankle. John Harbaugh, after the game, said everything looked fine there, and probably the boot was more of a precautionary thing than anything. But I'd monitor Marlon. With him returning to practice on Thursday, I'd probably say he has a decent shot to play, but that's probably the one I would monitor. In terms of the guys who did not practice, Salah's a backup guard. Even if he doesn't play, that will have no impact on the game whatsoever. Malik Harrison, I think, would probably be the biggest one because he does get snaps in the defense. He's also one of their special teams guys as well that they rely on for a lot. So he'd be one. Millette hasn't played all season with the knee/hamstring. He's their slot guy, but they've been using Marlon Humphrey in the slot a lot this season with Brandon Stevens and Nate Wiggins on the outside. So they rotate guys in there. If Millette plays, and again, he hasn't practiced Wednesday and Thursday, I wouldn't expect him to play in this one as he's been on IR the whole year. Broderick Washington is one of the rotational defensive linemen, but he is not as important as a Nnamdi Madubuike, a Travis Jones, a Michael Pierce. So he is more on the lower end of that defensive line depth chart. Other than that, looks like everybody else is going to be good to play. Andrew Voorhees, the one that I'll say with him, he's had the ankle sprain, full practice both these days. Patrick McCary has been starting at left guard for the Ravens these past couple of weeks. He is their usual super sub, sixth offensive lineman, can play off 5 positions, but he's played pretty well these past couple of weeks. I'm curious to see if they're going to give Voorhees his job back or if they run with Patrick McCary because the offensive line has played better these past couple of weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if Voorhees is back, but doesn't get the start in their role with McCary again.
Awesome. Well, that's a good rundown, and that's what we were looking for, seeing how impactful they are. So we got you for about 6-7 more minutes. So my next question is: are there any matchups that you're looking to watch? Okay, so the Baltimore Ravens are second in points scoring offense this season, only second to the Commanders, who were the first. Total yards, you guys are number 1, and the Commanders are number 4. Defensive rankings, we're sitting at. Like you said earlier, the Commanders are sitting at 13th in total yards in the pass, 22nd total yards in rushing. For you guys, the Ravens are sitting at 31st in passing yards allowed, but first, in total rushing yards allowed. So with that being said, what are the particular matchups that you're looking for come Sunday on both sides of the ball?
I think, well, I'll start on the defensive side of the ball. I think that, again, as I mentioned, there'll be some level of a cornerback rotation, but best on best, Marlon Humphrey and Terry McLaurin is one whenever they get snaps against each other, depending on where Terry lines up and where the Ravens decide to put Marlon. I don't expect it to be a shadowing type of deal. I'm sure we'll see Brandon Stevens on him. I'm sure we'll see Nate Wiggins on him at some point. But Marlon being a physical corner who, again, has been healthy these first 5 weeks, we'll see how much of that ankle injury hinders him. But man, Terry's awesome. And I know it was a struggle these first couple of weeks to get him going and have that connection established between Jayden and Terry. But these last couple, man, they look like they're on the same page, hitting on those deep balls and deep shots. And the one thing that this Ravens defense does not like to do, and just because they don't like to do it doesn't mean they do, they did a lot against Cincinnati, was give up the deep ball. They played terribly against Cincinnati in week 5, multiple deep shots, and even just long touchdowns. But to me, Marlon's a physical corner. I don't know if they want to jam him at the line, press him. I mean, Terry has a scary release package off the line, so I'm not sure if you want to necessarily try that out, but they're going to try whatever they can and say, we know Terry's the guy. We know that he's this receiver. So go and let the Ravens defense dictate that physicality. And then I'm also curious to see, because if Roquan is on a Zach Ertz type deal, if those two are matched up with one another, because Zach Ertz can be that safety blanket for Jayden Daniels. And we've seen that. So that on the defensive side of the ball is the one to me. On the offensive side of the ball, I'll go in the trenches. I mean, that Commanders D-line versus the Ravens offensive line, just for a very general matchup. I talked about how important the offensive line is. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if the Ravens can't get off the ball, can't get to the second level, let's Washington's guys get in there and chop down Derrick Henry. I mean, it's not going to be a good day for Baltimore. So you got to go in there and you got to do your thing.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be our linebackers who've been playing just out of their mind lately with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner. Because you're right, it's going to be Lamar and the Derrick show, I think. So it's going to be a very tough matchup. And our defense is, you know, they're on an upward trend. If you saw us the first couple of weeks, you were like, oh, this is going to be an ugly show. But I think we're at a point now where I think they're scheming for making up deficiencies in the defense. So yeah, I'm happy with that one. Phil, Deb, you guys got any inputs on the matchups before Kevin punches out?
I am interested because we've had a bit of a resurgence in offensive line play, especially over last year, where our line was the absolute worst. And this year they have been very good, partially because we have an offensive coordinator whose whole game plan is to mask deficiencies and get them moving forward with the run play. I have not seen as much vaunted defensive line play from the Ravens as years past. Is there any concern as far as controlling the line of scrimmage when Ravens on defense, when they go up against a team that has done a pretty good job of controlling the line of scrimmage and has pretty much won time of possession in every game this season so far?
Ravens are number one on run defense, right?
Yeah, Ravens have the best run defense in the league. And I think, to me, they do a good job of getting off the ball. But when they win hard. And when they don't, they lose badly. I think that's where it is. So throughout the game, and also I'll say this, the Ravens, outside of most of the Chiefs game and a half of the Bengals game and I guess a quarter of the Dallas game, have been playing in pretty positive game scripts for the majority of the season. Okay. So even though the Ravens haven't been, you know, the best against the pass, and there are certainly other areas that they need to improve on. And if Jayden Daniels gets the pass defense that Joe Burrow got, it's going to be food for him, and that's an issue for the Ravens. But teams aren't running the ball as much against Baltimore because Baltimore gets out to a lead and then they're like, okay, well, now we can't run the ball anymore. We have to throw it. And so that's where the yardage discrepancies come in. Now, what I judge it by is yards per attempt, because in your opportunities, how do you do? Baltimore's pass defense is, I don't know. Last week it was 20th. I think they dropped like 5 spots this week. So I think they're like 25th in the league in yards per attempt. Run defense, they're still number 1. But John Harbaugh has expressed concerns, especially late in games. If we're talking about the pass rush in the secondary haven't been timed up late in games, and that has caused a lot of miscommunication issues. Zach Orr is a first-time defensive coordinator and has never called plays at the NFL level before. This is his first time ever calling plays. Played for 3 years with the Ravens, but has never called plays. They brought in a senior advisor for Zach Orr this week, Dean Pease, who was their Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator back in 2012, to have a veteran guy in his ear. It was never going to be sunshine and rainbows, but there are still things he is learning. Much like, hey, you want to talk about Jayden Daniels? There are still things Jayden Daniels is learning. It's a rookie quarterback versus rookie defensive coordinator. So obviously the talent on Zach Orr is awesome, with the talent that he has on the defensive side of the ball. But I would expect this to be one of the biggest matchups of the year. I totally agree, because Washington's offensive line, it's a far cry from what we've seen over the last couple of years, where Washington's offensive line are like, all right, who are these turnstile guys? Who are these guys? This year, it's been a much different story.
Nice. Last couple of questions for you. Do you do predictions, like score predictions? Some people don't do it. Some people do it. Do you?
I'll do it.
Okay. So 2 for 1. So the Ravens win if, and then currently, according to DraftKings, the spread is still holding strong at Ravens in 7 points. I think it opened up at 6.5. It looks like they gave him a half a point over the last couple of days.
So Yahoo Sports has it at 6.5 still.
Okay, so it's fluctuating 6.5, 7. So Ravens win if, and then what are you calling out for a score this Sunday?
I would say Ravens win if they can make Jayden Daniels uncomfortable. And I know that, you look at some rookie quarterbacks around the league, you're like, that's easy, right? I don't think it's the same case with Jayden. Again, he looks wise beyond his years. He understands the game. He's a smart football player and a smart person. It's going to be tough. But again, this Ravens defense likes to show rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, all different types of looks, single high, box safety, whatever it is. You can play two high, shells, a bunch of different coverages. And so if you confuse him both with your coverages and at the line, if you want to send guys, blitzing Jayden Daniels, sometimes not a great idea because he'll make you pay if you don't get there. And the Ravens sometimes have struggled rushing four. So you have to be able to win if you're this Ravens defensive front with Nnamdi Madubuike, Travis Jones, Calvin Noy, who is, coming up on 35 years old, but is playing like he's 25. So I think that if you make Jayden Daniels uncomfortable and force him into mistakes, which he hasn't done this season. Yes, he's not a mistake-prone player, but if you can force him into a couple, that I think is the Ravens' best path to victory. And for a score prediction, I will say the Ravens win. I've been fluctuating back and forth. I don't have a bunch of faith in the defenses in this game. I think it will be probably more of a high-scoring affair. Maybe not as much as we saw with Ravens and Bengals. But I'm going to go Ravens 31, Commanders 24. I'll go touchdown win for the Ravens.
That's fair. That's good. And don't mind our friend's Shy Guns. He's a Packers fan, so his team's at the bottom of the NFC Central. So he doesn't really have room to talk.
I love it, man. I love it.
But yeah, gentlemen, any parting words for Kevin, Dev, or Phil before he takes off?
He just call you Jimmy Neutron.
Man, I've been watching, man. I love this. I
didn't see that shit. That's hilarious. Man.
I did. I'm over here trying not to laugh.
That's hilarious. I didn't.
I mean, you are.
I do. I would have to make it a little bit more of like a point at the top to have the full Jimmy
Neutron.
Neutron.
We have no hair, so
all three of us are bald.
We're all jealous.
You're already beating us in that respect.
Oh man, I love it.
I'm sitting here looking at the chat, and I'm like, I'm trying not to laugh.
Drake Bell. Oh, that's the new. Drake Bell. That's a new one. I haven't been called Drake Bell before.
Drake Bell.
All right, gentlemen. Any final words?
Hey, good luck to y'all on Sunday. Like I said, I mean, it may be a slightly bigger deal for us because we are a team on the come up. This is a local rivalry. There is a little bit of saltiness with our fan base because face it. Well, let me explain. There is a little bit of a rivalry here.
It's probably bragging right game, maybe.
Well, there's a bit of a rivalry because there's a lot of people over the past 30 years, especially in the Maryland area,
they want you back, Kevin,
who pretty much gave up on Washington and became Ravens fans. Yeah, especially in that northern PG County, Montgomery County, Howard County area, they all went to Baltimore. So there's a little bit of a chippiness with the fans because a lot of them look at Ravens fans like you were our fans before.
Did Ravens fans become Colts fans?
Well, no. There is no love in Baltimore for anything Colts related after
no one likes the Colts
to pack
here.
up Mayflowers and leave in the middle of the night.
Zero.
But and look, my birth certificate's PG County. All right, I get it, but I'm also from inside the Beltway, so I'm definitely always been DC loyal. It is. I mean, when the Browns moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens, I was happy just because I was like, all right, Baltimore deserves to have a football team. They had one before. They lost theirs under bad circumstances, and I'm glad they have one again. That being said, good luck on Sunday, and hold this L.
Yeah, I will compliment you guys. I went to Owings Mills last year for the one of the day 2 of the joint practices, and I was very impressed with the Under Armour facility up there. It was
top notch,
primo. Now, there was a little bit of smell from the landfill, but the overall the experience, the parking. I mean, it was just way better than what we have in Ashburn. So I commend you on that one. But can you tell us where everyone can find you at on the socials and any other content that you're putting out that so we can get the word out for you?
Yeah, for sure. You can find me over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Oestreicher34. Same thing over on Instagram. For my other content, I do post Locked On Ravens. So we're a 5-day-a-week Ravens podcast.
Nice.
Monday through Friday, plus bonus episodes. You can subscribe over on YouTube, follow along in audio form as well. I do go live after every game, so for like an instant reaction type deal. So however this game goes, win,
Yeah.
lose, or hopefully not tie. I hate ties. Hopefully not a tie. But
Yeah.
win or lose, I'll be going live after the game. So if you want the Ravens perspective on that, you can come in and join me on that. And also, I write for the Ravens Wire, USA Today, so that you can find written content over there. And I also do some work on Bleacher Report, as well as the Ryan Rippon Show, where we cover football, baseball. The Orioles had a tough sweep against Kansas City. But
at least you made it. At least, and the Phillies are gone, though. At least you made it.
Phillies are gone.
Yeah.
So, back on the full football saddle there. So that's where you can find me.
I got a spot in the O's for my heart. Growing up an O's fan. I'm a Nationals fan now, but I love the O's growing up. If you, for everyone who's watching, Kevin's social media and the YouTube channel is all down in the description in the YouTube video. So you can find it there. We'll retweet this afterwards. Kevin, thank you so much for your time, brother. You are making some moves in this little time we have with you. I'm proud of you. You've done more at 26 than most people have done in a long time. So keep up the good work. Thank you very much. And best of luck on Sunday. And hopefully we can stay in touch and do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Appreciate you having me. It was fun. Thanks so much.
Take care, Kevin.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Bye. Good stuff, man. our
fans are the best.
Man, appreciate
that was crazy,
Kevin.
Jimmy.
Shotguns and Jimmy just letting it go, man. I was trying to be respectful. Kevin's a nice dude, man.
He number one does Robin Thicke. I thought that too. Well, he does have a great hair though, man. I'm kind of jealous.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Like that. And don't forget, while we're here, put hashtag Forbes in the YouTube chat right now. Must be subscribed. We're gonna give this guy away here in probably like 10 minutes. So you got 10 minutes left to put your hashtag in. Certificate of authenticity right there from JSA. We're gonna want to give this away as a giveaway for thanking everyone for what they do for subscribers only. So please put hashtag Forbes in the chat. So fellas, we got his perspective. Let's go back to the injury report from the Commander's perspective. We didn't get to read the Commander's injury, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. So Mathis didn't practice today, illness. So hopefully that's nothing. Tyler Owens, B-Rob, 2 days in a row with the knee, but this was the same as last week. So hopefully the B-Rob injury is nothing. But I do want to point out, he got this knee injury before, and he only played 23 snaps last week. And the 2 weeks prior, he played 45 in each game. So 45, got the injury, 23. Cool. So Brian Robinson.
He had to.
The good part is he didn't have to play last week because we beat the brakes off them.
He had to play more snaps because Eckler had the concussion and he was out the week after that.
Yeah.
And McNichols, while he's great, is not Austin Eckler. So that's why you didn't see Robinson getting spelled as much.
Right.
But at the same time, I think that having a pretty good wealth of options at running back means that, and B-Rob now having a couple years under his belt, you just get the vibe that he doesn't necessarily need to practice. He just needs to be healthy on game day.
And that's really all it comes down to. And he was quite the goal line back last week. So
look, that's all we bring him in for. I'm fine with that. Scored him touchdowns.
Very Gerald Riggs-esque, but I feel he's like so much more talented than Gerald Riggs was.
Hey, Gerald Riggs was us.
Hey, he
Gerald
was us.
Riggs,
and that 91 season was just a touchdown monster. I don't remember his total number. Was it 21?
He had 11 touchdowns on 70 carries.
We had a three-headed monster, though. We had, Biner, the 1-2. You had Irvin's the change of pace scat, and you had Gerald Riggs punching it in from the goal line.
I'm just saying, don't discredit the fact that Gerald Riggs was a monster when he was in Atlanta. He led the league in rushing one year with 1,700 yards.
Yeah,
Animal. He was a beast.
Animal.
When he got older, he transitioned into that just goal line back. But nonetheless, getting out of the history lesson into now, having 3 running backs that can contribute is definitely good because it takes that pressure off of B-Rob. If Eckler has to carry the load for a game, I'm sure he can. It's not like we're asking him to do it for 17 games. So this is one time where running back by committee kind of helps, keeps the pressure off of guys that they have to perform even if they're not 100%.
Yep. That's awesome. Going down the list, Allegretti, Brown,
Nash is one of my favorite seasons by a running back in this team.
Terry Allen, number 21 for 21.
21 for 21. I had a Terry
What
Allen
a pickup
jersey.
from the Vikings. We got him from the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
I think he came from the Vikings. What a good pickup. We got Biner from the Browns. Well, after the Browns.
No, we traded for Biner.
We traded for, okay.
We gave up a running back who never did anything in the league for Ernest Biner. It's one of the greatest one of the greatest fleecings in a trade ever. Is when we traded Mike Oliphant for Ernest Biner. Just if you ever go back and look at what they did before, what they did after, and you're like, how did the Browns make this trade?
Right. But then on the flip side, we squandered all of the Ricky Williams picks away. So there's that. We had I don't even remember the stupid number we got for Ricky Williams, but Mike Dick that gave us the picks.
Entire draft.
We squandered them all away in true fashion. So going down the rest of the injuries, Allegretti, Brown, Butler, Cleveland Farrell, and Quan Martin, all limited. Eckler's back to full after that concussion he was in last week. He looked like he hurt his heel over the last week. Forbes is full all week. Vontae Fowler back with the illness. McGee and F.A. Obata are full. I'm happy to see F.A. Obata finally making it on the field. Looks like they waived Sam Hartman. I'm not sure who. I didn't get to see who they put in his place, whether on the for the active roster. But I'm sure they'll probably bring Sam Hartman back to the practice squad. So no worries there. But this is the injury report. Good to see not any very serious injuries on here. AG says Washington will probably pass more against Baltimore. B-Rob should have a light load this week. So in theory, I agree with you. We should, because that's what the defensive statistics tell us, is that they're really bad against the pass. And so, we should be passing.
I'm looking at everybody drop historical knowledge here.
The fumble got traded.
Except for the fact that Biner played an entire season after that before we traded for him. So it didn't run him out of town.
You mean you mean the famous Browns fumble?
Yes.
Yeah.
That fumble got Biner traded, but that was at the end of the 87 season.
Commander Nash right there.
We traded for him in the 89 offseason.
And Jim Sleep. Everyone's talking about his fumble. Man, it's just funny.
The man came 3 yards short of having 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, that's crazy. 30. But that's all that one play is what stands out in most people's brains. That's how it works. All it takes is one shit to ruin 10 attaboys. That's just life, man.
It's true.
Justin Sawyer, appreciate you joining, man. Good to see you, Justin. And hey, real quick, shout out and prayers up to everyone in the South. Hopefully everyone's okay with this damn hurricane, man. We had Helen, and then now Milton coming through. So if anyone's down there, man, I'm sure you're probably not listening to this show, but man, you got any family or friends on there? Shout out to them, man.
Prayers you got Starlink, because now you got internet.
My sister's in Jacksonville, man. She said, "No, they got us a little rain. That's it."
Yeah, because luckily that's on the East Coast. Yeah, and they didn't get that much.
Apparently, that hurricane weakened severely right before landfall. But but the storm surge is nuts. I was watching a time lapse of the storm surge, and there's this street camera, and the water. And I'm talking about this is like a higher level street camera. It's like probably on second story. Yeah. 15-foot storm surge. The water was literally splashing on the camera. And you look at it from the angle of how high the camera up, you're like, oh my God. That was nuts.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yep. That's it. So let's go to matchups to watch our version of it. And then I say in about 6 minutes, we'll do the giveaway for the Forbes helmet here. Just a reminder, put hashtag Forbes to win this signed Emmanuel Forbes life-size helmet for Emmanuel, according to Dev. All right, Dev, we heard Kevin's take on matchups he's looking for. Are there any matchups you're interested in watching come Sunday on either side of the ball?
I want to see how we keep if we're going to zone on Flowers, or are we going to just play man and keep a guy in the box? Because that would be if you watch last game, Cincinnati put 8 in the box, and Lamar had 4 touchdown passes, 380 yards or some shit.
Yeah.
So you don't want to think, oh well, he likes to run, but 8 in the box, then you're fucked. It seems like you want them to run enough to where they don't get a lot of opportunities to make big plays. You want to make them grind it out and not get them big yards, and maybe get them in some 3rd and longs so they can become predictable. I think that will be the goal. So if we keep their offense predictable, Washington wins. If that's what I'm saying.
So you just freaked us and did a twofer.
Yeah, that was long-winded as fuck. I felt it in the middle. I was like, wrap this shit up. Wrap this shit up.
What? Okay, gotcha.
Hey, by the way, Louisville, Garendo's in. The other guy got hurt. Garendo's been playing.
Jordan Mason, it popped up my phone. I got him on a fantasy team, and I am furious right now. I had Garendo in the league. And
I'm playing Rodney this week.
Phil, what about you? What matchups are you looking for on either side of the ball here? And if y'all's in the chat, let me know who you guys looking forward to watching match up.
I'm interested to see, as our defensive backfield has been playing a lot better lately.
Yeah.
And the Ravens don't exactly have a scary set of wide receivers. To see if they can play as well as they have been and really kind of shut down the wideouts for the Ravens and not play down to their competition, so to speak. Yeah. So that's what I'm interested in. I want to see, hey, where can our defensive backs really have a lockdown game? They've done really well the past 2 weeks. They have kept Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson under 300 yards combined, which is an insane stat. So would definitely like to see what happens, this week. So I'm intrigued. Yep.
Justin says, I wonder if we'll be able to contain King Henry. Jim says Louisville spying Lamar. And to me, that's one of my things is not Louisville. It should be Louisville. Will it be Louisville? It might even be Bobby Wagner. I don't know. Louisville's been pretty good at getting to the quarterback, a see ball, get ball kind of dude. And they've been moving him all over the place. But with Bobby Wagner being in the middle, I don't know. And this is also a spy is also a good spot for I hate to say this, a Buffalo nickel type of DB. Those also make very good spies on quarterbacks. So I don't know if we have that definitive person who plays down in the box like that, maybe Jeremy Chin. But Jeremy Chin could be a candidate for a spy too. But do you need to have a spy on him? Absolutely. Wagner, Luvu, Chin. Luvu is probably the most athletic person to put him on spy duty, in my opinion. But that's my matchup to watch for is how do we match up against Lamar? Because Lamar, like Jayden, is the most dynamic player on the Ravens. He can hurt you with his arm. He can hurt you with his feet. And so you're right, Phil. I'm not really worried about their receivers, but it's just the fact that he can hurt you with his arm. And Zay Flowers, 24 receptions, 269, a touchdown. Rashad Bateman, 13 receptions, 202. Isaiah Likely, 16 and 180. Justice Hill, 17 and 169. And Mark Andrews, 10 for 120. So they, like us, they have two tight ends who can actually do a little bit of damage. So I don't know. We'll see. B. Wright says Terry against Marlon Humphrey. That's a good one. Now, I've heard multiple people say that Marlon Humphrey's lost a step because he was facing a real tough injury last year. So that remains to be seen.
Maybe.
Oh, wow. Commander Nash has dropped some knowledge on me. I didn't realize. Give you the bell on that one. I told you.
You know who else is a Raven? Ernest Biner.
Oh my! When did they first come? 96.
If I'm not mistaken, Ernest Biner scored the first touchdown in Ravens history.
That's crazy. AG makes B right. B says Louisville's going to have to spy Lamar. I'm with you, man. And AG makes a good point. Make Lamar pass from the pocket. He's passing at a 65% clip, 1206, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. His accuracy is pretty good this year. I think usually it's a little bit higher, but he doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. So he also, in most years, doesn't throw for a lot of yards either. He'll crest 3,000, but usually hovers between 3,200 is what he averages, but he makes up for it with another, 700 yards on the ground, another 7 touchdowns.
1,000 yards.
Yeah, give or take. So
here's something to keep in mind. We've done a pretty good job. Look, Lamar is the biggest test in this regard, but Kyler Murray was held to 3 yards.
Yeah.
Man, Cincinnati made him throw in the pocket AG, and they got roasted for 380 and 4 touchdowns. Bro, I mean.
Yeah. Did you see Kyler Murray throw up the deuce sign from 43 yards out on that scramble he did last week? They said he ran. What?
What the fuck was that?
I got ghosts behind me. he threw up the peace sign from 43 yards out, and I think he produced the fastest time of any single runner in the NFL this year. It's like 22 miles an hour, some stupid number like that. But
they're showing in the prime game, they're showing the Miami baseball stadium. The Hurricane jacked it up.
Yeah, jacked it up. All right, guys, what do you say we give away this helmet, man? I think we've talked long enough. I don't know how many hashtag comments we're going to be able to harvest, but I say we give this guy away. So without any further ado,
I'm going to give you the names.
All right, we said hashtag Forbes.
Yes,
so I have the giveaway tool here that I'll share with you guys.
Okay.
You don't have to go back and look through.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I guess that's what the bullets were. Not till December. Jimmy says Wagner should be able to beat Henry in the role. Phil Bullock said it's a rough matchup because you can't really put a spy on Lamar. He's too fast.
That's what she said.
That's
Quan Martin.
Listen,
Quan Martin.
I'll give you guys 30 seconds for those in the chat. Phil, Bullock, Jimmy, Justin, make sure you guys put a hashtag Forbes in. If you haven't done it, type hashtag Forbes in now. This is a subscriber only giveaway. We want to make sure we give subscribers a chance to pop in. There's 20 of you guys watching this right now. Hashtag Forbes, hashtag Forbes, hashtag Forbes. I'm gonna start harvesting links in about 10 seconds. I know most of you guys have already put that in there. So it doesn't give you multiple entries. Just to make sure you guys put in there one. So with that being said, without any further ado, let's go ahead and give this helmet away, fellas. Let me turn. So we got our giveaway tool ready. I'm going to hide the banners. All right. I'm going to zoom in. Hashtag Forbes is it. 12 entries. So 12. One of 12 of you will win.
Most yet.
This is the most yet. So best of luck to you all. This is for you guys, and I'm not sure what the next giveaway is going to be. Here we go. Hashtag Forbes in 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Be right.
Be right.
Be right. What is up? Congratulations. Be right. You win the life-size helmet, just joking, of Emmanuel Forbes signed mini helmet. I need to get with you offline, bro. I don't know if you're on Facebook or Twitter or X, but I need to get with you. Drop a tag or something so we can get a hold of you and I can get this thing shipped off to you. But thank you so much for watching. And like I said, we want to do this on a regular basis. And it almost landed on you, Deluxe. That's for sure. It was so close. We had Tia win the card, the signed Gus Farrat card. We had Yam win the signed Clinton Portis jersey. And now B Right, my man B, is now the winner of the signed Emmanuel Forbes Washington Commanders mini helmet, which I will get out to you. But I'm going to have to get with you offline, man. So I don't know where I can find you on the socials, but hopefully you can find us anywhere. If you go to the YouTube page, you can, hit me up on Facebook. I'm Steve Lim, Lim. Send me a DM and then I'll get your address, man. And I'll send this out to you for sure. But awesome. That's be good, man. But yeah, getting the congrats from the crew and the crowd. Fire 120. Appreciate you popping in. Justin Sawyer. Yep. Jimmy Lee. Congratulations. The Lord, Badass Lord Tippy saying congratulations. AG Nash. Commander Nash was doing a giveaway before too. So make sure you guys keep up with him on Facebook. He does giveaways too. But yeah, congratulations, B. And then hit me up with a DM on Facebook, Steve Lim. And then I'll get this sent out to you. So fellas, for the remainder of the show, Commanders win if. Deb, what do you think about Commanders win if? And you guys in the chat, Commanders win if.
I did it.
Well, you did. That's right. You did it. Phil, what about you?
Hey, man, come he don't get the smoke weed thing, dog. I'm the only one who gets it when I fuck up. He done fucked up the graphic coming in. Brought the host, brought the guest in before we introduced them.
I know. That's on me. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I mean, I'm waiting for the prompt from Steve. Phil Bullock down here, like, you okay, Phil? I'm fine. I was just waiting for my prompt from Steve.
I'll be like,
Joker. Good.
Murray.
I need to get that.
So, anyway,
Commanders win if.
Commanders win if. There's a couple different ways to slice this. And I don't want to say the same thing I say every week because it's a given at this point. Commanders win if Jayden Daniels remains poised and can stand up to the magnitude of the moment. This is the biggest game of his career so far in the NFL. He is facing a winning team. He's got a lot of momentum and a lot of hype behind him. And he is now the accolades are coming in. He has won Rookie of the Week 4 out of 5 weeks so far. He is being touted by national media as a top 5 quarterback. In fact, the 33rd team has Jayden Daniels as their number 1 quarterback in the NFL right now. Which is that is a 33rd team, I believe, is Barstool.
I'm not sure.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
hype. Lamar Jackson has 11 touchdowns, 1 interception, bro.
There's a lot of hype. And he's
9.
now earning a lot of hate from opposing fan bases.
9 passing, 2 rushing.
Right, 11.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of hate coming from a lot of fan bases too. So there's just a lot more noise around the kid than there was a couple weeks ago. So if he can remain the solid, poised young man that we've seen, and like I said, if he can rise to the magnitude of the moment, Commanders win.
Right. That's awesome. If
Did
you
see
watch
that graphic I sent you in the Facebook chat?
Yeah, that was Robert Griffin's.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, we might as well show it.
He
right?
will find a way to prop himself up.
Well, I posted a video on TikTok of the
of
this same sort of content, and I tagged him. I don't know if he saw it or not, but regardless, he made his own version of the graphic that I tagged him in. He's pretty darn close to the statistics of Robert Griffin in his first 5 games as a Redskin. If you look at the numbers,
he's actually generally better. More rushing yards, almost the same in passing yards, same total touchdowns, same passing touchdowns, higher QBR.
Yeah,
more interceptions.
It's crazy. It's a wild graphic. Justin's right. It's a wild graphic, but I feel like Jayden is a little bit better all around. He's smarter with the ball,
polished. Well, here's the thing I like about Jayden is that yes, we are definitely tailoring this offense to his strengths, but the RPO that Griffin ran was very simple in the fact that he had to read the RPO, but it was usually a 1 or 2 route combo, right? Sometimes it's only 1 route.
Yeah.
Jayden's doing a lot more in terms of 3-4 reads on his pass plays than Griffin did his rookie year. Griffin eventually started doing more too. But Jayden's doing a lot of what RG3 did a little earlier. And I think he's further ahead of the curve in terms of his development as an overall quarterback. And I think we're doing more complex things out of these read options. Now, granted, we brought the read option in as a base offense.
That's right. Shout out Kyle Shanahan. First
now it's been in the league for over a decade. So now you can also say that's part of the reason why things are a little more complex. So yeah, I think that's why. I think Jayden's just further along on his development. 5 years in college helps. I think that Jayden and Bo Nix are going to kind of revitalize the idea of you draft quarterbacks when they're seniors. You get them when they're further along in their development.
HE says Robert was an airhead, and Justin said
Jayden can slide.
Jayden can slide. So sorry for the graphics, the command but this is adjusted quarterback efficiency versus actual. Here you go. And if you look at it, this is adjustments for expected EPA. So EPA is expected points average, and it measures the value of each play in football. That's generally what it is. And so what we're looking at is Daniels is on top. This is a crazy stat.
Daniels is way ahead.
This is a crazy stat. And I'm actually shocked that Purdy's up there at number 2. But for the audio crowd, if you listen to this tomorrow on the podcast,
I'm not, because Brock Purdy's efficient.
He's very efficient. And this, like I said, this is not yardage, touchdowns. It's really efficiency.
Who's nowhere to be found?
For the audio crowd, this Daniels, Purdy, Burrow, Murray, Darnold, Carr, Allen, Mayfield, Stroud. I'm going to go further down. I see Caleb. It's Watson from the bottom. Watson, Brissett, Herbert, Nix, and Caleb Williams.
Far behind.
Yeah,
Caleb
That's,
Williams way down there.
that's Herbert
I was gonna
shotguns
say,
and Kool-Aid.
Dak
That's
Prescott,
Herbert.
right there.
Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts down towards
Yeah,
the bottom.
moving all the way up. You got the likes of people in the middle of the pack, like Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields. I thought Kirk Cousins would be a little higher. Mahomes is way down there. Lamar is actually
Dimes and
down
Richardson in
there.
the same category, Kool-Aid.
Yeah, look at that. So that's just kind of a
That's
cool.
what I was saying. You notice who's not there? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy Hurts is down here towards the bottom. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the bottom. So sitting at 25.
Prescott's what, 10th, 11th from the bottom?
Yep. And Justin's right. Jayden can slide. If you notice, like, remember we said last week, I guess he talked to Herm Edwards when he was at Arizona State, and he said, "You better slide, kid. You better slide." So he's been sliding more on his butt and knees instead of doing that head first fall thing, which is I like better anyway.
He does a lot of pop-up slides. It's great to see as a former baseball player.
Yeah.
He gets down, pops right back up. Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to actually repeat what I said, not repeat what I said last week, but yes, time of possession is always going to be important. That's how you win a game, but it's exploiting their pass defense. The numbers don't lie. It's right there. So if we can exploit their pass defense, I think we'll be okay. Let's do some over-unders here very quickly, and we'll do the predictions from the crowd. And so like we said, we'll do the spread for the actual game last. So some props here, and let's see what we pick here. We do a pretty good job, especially those in the chat. Do a very good job picking these over-unders. Where are we? Here we go. Okay. So for passing props, for Jayden Daniels passing props for even money, they have him sitting at around 225.
Over.
Will Jayden get 225 yards over under? Phil's taking the over. I'm taking the over because their passing defense is not very good. What about you, Dev? Will Jayden get more than 225 yards? Yeah, I think you're muted. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all passing or combined yards?
Just passing. These are passing props from DraftKings.
Yeah, I think he does it, man.
You think
What's
so?
the percentages say?
There's no percentage. It's just even money is around 225. So they're saying 225 is the number you got to pick to go even. So for Lamar Jackson, his even number
175 no.
is actually also 225. Man, these numbers. 225.
I think.
So for the record, I'm going to tell you what he's passed in every game so far this year, starting from September week 1. 273, 247, 182, 156, and 348. So that's where he is right
under,
now.
not by much, but under.
You're going to go with the under?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But not by much. Asterisk, not by much.
Yeah. I'm going to take the over. I just feel like, and I don't think he's going to have a monster ride. I just think he's going to get over 225. What about you, Dev?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Lamar goes over. Yeah.
You think he goes over? Okay.
There's a reason why I think he's going to be under.
Justin and Jimmy Lee are going over as well. Okay. Why do you think he's going to go over, Phil?
Well, we'll get to that prop bet when they talk about Derrick Henry.
Okay, got it. Fair enough. All right. Speaking of the devil, Derrick Henry, even money for him, 80 yards.
Over.
Man, I need to go put some money on that right now.
He's going to be 115 easily.
Dev, you're taking the over on Derrick Henry going over 80, right?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry at 80 yards.
I would have took it for 180, maybe, man, you know what? I might take a chance and say no, just because, man.
I mean,
we thought our pass defense was total trash, and in the last 2 weeks they've been really good. So is this the time to run defense steps up?
Harbaugh is a complete ass sometimes, bro. Every now and then he's got about 2 or 3 of these games a year, like that.
Where he just does something
like the AFC Championship game where you pass 28 times and run 60
So he
running backs.
dropped Lamar
Like,
back 40 times. on
Man,
Sunday.
I can see Lamar running instead of Henry. You know what I'm saying? I can see it. We saw it last game. The only reason he broke that because he broke that long one at the end of overtime. He was like 40 yards before that, man.
Yep.
So we saw it last game, man. I think they just stick in the box, and I hope you can keep Flowers. That's my question. That's what I said earlier. Why I'm kind of concerned if they use the same formula, stacking the box, and then leaving one-on-one with the receivers and tight ends, and he'll tear your ass up. So it's kind of almost like you almost want them to run a little bit so they don't get the big ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the
idea
thing
of just make them one-dimensional running.
Yeah, I would rather make them one-dimensional running is in their wheelhouse. You want to make them one-dimensional passing. You want to know they're going to pass and they have to pass. That's the situation you want to be in. So you're going to have to get up on them like 14-0, bro, and keep the kettle in the middle.
Over under the amount the amount of ounces of Pepto I drink during this game.
Yeah.
Because my stomach's going to be in knots.
I feel you.
I have a feeling this game is going to drive me insane because well, I'll get to it in a little bit.
All right, so I think everyone's going to go Derrick Henry on the over. Fair enough. That's fair. Okay. Anyone? AG says he's going to go for 150. Lamar Jackson rushing. Lamar rushing is sitting for even money 60. And you call it, Dev. 60 is the closest thing to have the even money.
It's always 60.
It's always 60? You know this. I think for rushing, so far this year, what he's gotten in the rushing, he's gotten – where are we? Where are you, Lamar? Okay, rushing. So starting by week 1, 122, 45, 87, 54, 55. That damn 60 is like the perfect spot for a freaking bet.
Under.
Because
I'm going under also.
He's been over 2 out of 5 games.
I think he's under 2. I think he passed this game like last game.
So hold on.
I say under
you're going under
60. I feel like they're going to be really locked down on Lamar. That's why I also have Derrick Henry getting the over too. So yeah. I'm going to say Lamar under.
All right.
Under.
What about you?
I'm going under.
You're going under?
Yeah. I think he passes a lot of yards.
I'm going to hit over. Jimmy Lee saying over. He's got Henry. I got you on under. Jimmy has Derrick Henry going under 80. That's a bold proclamation, sir. Good for you. I am bold man, Justin. I like that. Justin Sawyer. Justin has Lamar under 60 as well. Badass Lord Tipsy brings up a good point. Why are Bears fans so damn salty? They're talking mad-ish when they were taking Caleb at 1, and now they're consistently downplaying Jayden's game. So here's why. Bears fans are attributing Caleb's early struggles to the fact that he has to do so much on the field. He has 4 or 5 progressions to read. He's running a pro-style offense. Therefore,
allegedly,
his offense is more advanced. And on the flip side of that, allegedly, our offense is a college offense. It's very easy to read. It doesn't matter. You still have to execute it. You have to be accurate, and you can't turn the ball.
Our offense is so simple. Why has nobody caught on to it yet?
Exactly. And if Caleb is being asked to do so much, that means you have shitty coaches, Bear fans. Your coaches are shitty. Shitty. Capital S.
SHITI. Shitty.
Our coaches created a system to where our quarterback can do those easy execution things, build confidence, build timing, build rapport, and build rhythm. Why haven't you done that for Caleb?
Our coaches own 20 Kookaroos.
I can tell you what it really is.
How many Kookaroos do you own, Bears fans?
I'll tell you what it really is. Bears fans are mad because they thought we have number 1 pick. We got the only quarterback who was seen as he is definitely pro ready. No, everyone else needs development or whatever, or they're a risk, whatever the case may be. They thought they're going to be the belle of the national ball. And then here comes Jayden Daniels and just, lays down a big old JD5 dick right on top of their heads and kills their dreams of being the ones that everyone loves.
There we go.
They don't get the hype machine, and they're mad about it. Now the thing is, though, is that as much as we want to talk about, other than the Bears have not had a stellar offense in how long, unless they're playing us,
Right.
So
Long time.
it is what it is. I'm not sorry about it. I was the one who sat there and said, "Hey, going into the draft," I said, "Look, out of the top 3 quarterbacks, yeah, Caleb was my favorite." And I still think Caleb coming out of college was a fantastic prospect.
Yeah. And he still might be to this day. And you don't got to knock down our guy to prop up your guy. Let them, they're their own people.
Exactly.
He's having a good rookie year too, honestly.
The fastest way to ruin something fantastic is to compare it to something else.
That's right. That's exactly it. And that goes for anything in life. Things can be independently standing alone. Justin says Bears fans think thought they were drafting Mahomes and they didn't as of yet. Yeah, and we don't have to apologize for success. We don't.
No one's gotten Mahomes.
Hey, Jesus, Caleb is undisciplined in the pocket, and because you know what? They focused on getting receivers and weapons. They did not focus on building an O-line and a scheme for him to execute, like our coaches did.
They compared Lamar to everybody. The RG3, the Lamar Jackson,
Lamar's he's his own thing.
Williams. They done got Jayden they done called Jayden everybody, dog. This is like split.
And Jayden is his own thing too.
Jayden is the boogeyman, bro.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you can take a player and have a comp. But in this case, Lamar is the closest, but I still think he's different than Lamar because I feel
a different game.
He does have a different game, and I feel
there goes that man.
He might even be a better passer than Lamar, and that remains to be seen. But
I mean, if you want to do an apples to apples, he's definitely a better passer than rookie Lamar.
There goes that man.
Yep. So Jayden Daniels, even money for rushing, 50 yards. I'm going over. I feel confident with the over on that one. What about you guys? Jayden Daniels, 50
over,
yards.
Because I think we're going to be throwing more, so he's going to be scrambling more. Over.
What about you, Dev? Will Jayden get 50 yards over under?
Over.
Over. Okay. Everyone else in the chat. Jayden Daniels, 50 yards over. AG says, we called Jayden Daniels as a better passer before the draft. Yeah.
He had like 40 touchdown passes in college.
Yeah, he did. Justin's taking the over on Jayden. I don't think anyone should take the under on that one. That's just me. All right, Jimmy Lee's going over. There you go, bro. There you go.
What's his passer thing?
What?
Oh, we're going back and pass. I'm sure.
No, this is still rushing. Jayden 50 yards.
I just seen the comments said passing.
Oh, okay. Now we're going on to receiving yards. We're going to go with Terry. Terry for even money is sitting around 60 yards. That damn 60 yards, man.
Over.
Every time.
Over. I've been going slightly under on him. I'm going to go over this week.
So far this year, he's gotten from week 1, 17, 22, 100, 52, and 112. So it's just enough to go up, down, up, down. That's why they're placing, damn you, Vegas. They are smart with 60 yards. Okay, so Phil's going over. Who else is going over under? Terry McLaurin, 60 yards. I think I'm going to take the over too because I feel they're going to be attacking the pass. And Terry, all you got to do is hit one like you hit last week, which is highly probable. Deb, what do you think about Terry getting 60 yards?
Over.
Okay. Jimmy Lee, looks like you're taking the over as well. Yeah, knock on wood. Over for Jayden. Hope RG3 curse doesn't happen against the Ravens. Haloti Nada doesn't live there anymore. So, and Jayden doesn't fall and flop around like Robert did and flail. So, Zay Flowers is your number one receiver right now. We'll hit Zay Flowers over, and then I think that'll be good. So Zay Flowers, the even money for him is sitting at also 60 yards. It's all 60 yards, man. What are they doing? Let me read you what he's done.
Yeah, because I'm on the fence on that one.
So Zay Flowers, so far this season in his first 5 games, he's done 37, 91, 20, 10, 111 last week.
I'm going to say under.
I'm also taking the under for Zay Flowers going under 60. So Phil and me are taking the under. Justin, you got the under for Terry, I'm guessing. Jimmy Lee's taking the under on Zay Flowers as well. What about you, Dev?
Under.
All right. Zay Flowers under 60. I don't think it's anything worse. I mean, they have Bateman, Ertz, Andrews, Likely, Justice Hill, Derrick Henry receiving. If you guys would do any of those, we can, but I don't know if any of those are worth actually doing so. Justin says no over Terry. No over Terry, under Zay. Got it. Over Terry, under Zay. Okay. I got you, Justin. Under Zay. Okay, cool. All right, let's get into predictions now. Like I said before, this game is sitting at this is DraftKings, 7 points for the Ravens. Phil says on Yahoo it's 6.5. So there's your gauge, 6.5, 7 points, however you want to cut it. Over under is 51.5 on DraftKings.
That's what it is on Yahoo.
So 51.5. The over under is tried and true at 51.5. It's in Baltimore. It's a 1:00 game. I think the weather's supposed to be nice. Ravens are favored by 7 points. Dev, let's start with you. What are you calling for this game on Sunday?
What's the spread? 6.5?
6.5 or 7, where depending on where you go.
I'm going to go 30-36 Ravens. So
36-30 Ravens. Okay. There is
I think it's a shootout though. I think it's gonna come down to the end. Might be the first person to punt. It's over for him.
I do want to show this though as we're going through the rest of these. So NFL Network, this is what they have. Daniel Jeremiah, Someone Wolf, Adam Rank, Grant all have the Ravens winning. Bucky Brooks is the only person that's picking the Commanders to win, 29-28. So there's some additional reference for you. Nobody is picking
Wolf even said overtime on there.
Us to win. Say what?
Wolf even said
oh, he did.
overtime.
Yeah, OT. First OT. So yeah. All right, Phil, what do you got for your prediction, man? I'll leave this up as we
So we're gonna go over. Going to take the over. It's going to be a close one. This is going to be my Atlanta moment. 28-26 Washington.
Oh, 28-26 Washington. Ooh.
It's going to be a close one. It is going to be one of the best games of the year. You're going to see a little bit of everything. You're going to see some hitting, probably some turnovers. You're going to see some offense, some defense, some special teams. But I think in the end, we pull one out 28-26.
28-26. Okay. Jimmy Lee is going 34-31 Washington. Okay. Okay.
AG doesn't have as much faith, says 34-27 Baltimore.
That's right. There you go. AG 34-27 Baltimore. I am also going to go Baltimore. I'm going to say 34-31. So I want to be the inverse of Jimmy Lee, but I'm going to say 34-31 Baltimore. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be a shootout. And I think that the experienced quarterback will just be the victor. And I think it's going to come down to a Justin Tucker field goal to win the game for Baltimore. I think that'll be the deciding factor. But I think 34-31 is going to be a shootout here. Justin's got Redskins 31, Ravens 27. Okay, so 31-7 Washington for Justin. So I got myself 34-31 Ravens. Dev has 36-30 Ravens. Phil has 28-26 Washington. Jimmy has 34-31 Washington. AG has 34-27 Baltimore. Justin has 31-27 Washington. So I think we got a pretty diverse spread there between all of us. We have 3 for Washington and 3 for Baltimore. So I think we're pretty even split right there, fellas. So it's anyone's game at this point. So that being said,
is it diverse, diverse, or diverse, or even diverse?
Diverse. I think it's diverse. Diversity is an old wooden ship, Phil.
Badass Lord Tipsy says, "Boo! AG is Rodney's partner."
I mean, I want to pick Washington, and I just feel that I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm right or wrong, but I really want to be wrong on this one. The Ravens are a good team. It's two-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and we're a great team too. There is no pressure for us to win this game. We're 4-1. We've already exceeded expectations. We are already almost at the win total some people picked for us for this entire season.
We've already matched our win total from last season.
From this point forward, it's almost house money, isn't it? Playing with house money. We know we got a good quarterback. We know we got some great at free agency. I think we have a left tackle. So, I mean, we're playing with house money. Anything from this point forward, we're on the gravy train, man. I mean, we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. Yeah, Rod's burner. Yeah, AG, I hope I'm wrong too, man. I will love to be wrong, man. Love to be wrong. Phil Bullock says just about all these scores shows me neither team got defense. No, they don't. Remember, we are ranked. Yeah, we are ranked dead last against the rush. They are ranked nearly dead last against the pass. So it's an inverse, Phil. So we'll see how it goes. Will the coaches exploit that? I don't know. Jimmy says, I really want to give them 37, 4 touchdowns, and 3 field goals. Man, our defense has been playing lights out too lately. So it could be the inflated numbers are from the first 3 weeks because the last 2 weeks they've been pretty good. Burrow lit us up.
That's why I'm kind of keeping the score in the 20s. I think you're going to see just enough defense to kind of keep things balanced.
Yeah, you might be onto something there, Phil. I didn't think about that. These numbers are kind of skewed because we gave up a shit ton of yards the first 3 weeks. The last 2 weeks, they've been playing much better. So he actually might be onto something. Positivity, guys. Positivity in our lives. Don't forget, we have Command This Day at the Park. October 20th, the Panthers game. Phil and Dev and their significant others are coming into town. We'll be tailgating in the Red Zone lot. Tickets are still available. That link is still there. If you need it, it's on our Twitter page. It's on the Facebook page. Oh, we got one more. Crystal. Appreciate you, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. She's got 34 skins. Okay. Let's hope you're right. Fellas, any other goodness in the world, share it with us.
B-Right says he can't find you.
I'll find you, man. What's your name on Facebook? I'll send you a message right now, bro. What is your name?
Or message to Command This account.
Or message that Command This Facebook page, and it'll come to us if you don't want to post your name on YouTube. But whatever you want to do, I'm out there.
Watch it be someone who's like we're really familiar with on Facebook too.
Yeah,
it always ends up that way.
And just to show you, if you want, here's my Facebook profile. This will help you find me. It's a picture of my family, and that's me. It's because my eye has a little, whatever you want to call it, a little tick at the top, I guess. That's on purpose. So sometimes I can't be found. But that's it. L, a weird I, M. That's me. Be right. Let me know if you can't find me, man. Or give me your name in here, and I'll message you myself. Fellas, any other good news before we rolling out of here?
Well, other than the fact that I get, I'm amped as hell for this game this weekend. I'm really just amped for next weekend. I am ready for Command This Day. I hope we're coming off a win too, because we're gonna be playing a very, very, very
trap games
or Panthers team, and I'm hoping that we're coming off of a big win. And we're ready just to rip ass on people and stomp out the Panthers. So whatever we do this week, I hope it's a win because I want that momentum to just carry over into next week so that when the Command This crew shows up at Northwest Stadium, we get to see an ass kicking of the Panthers. And I love to see it. So what's good in my life? I'm a little over a week away from the from the day I've been looking for all season.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a good time. I cannot wait for everyone to come down here. It's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited.
Also, wrestling fans, AEW pay-per-view this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Wrestle Dream is this weekend, and it's going to be if you're following the product, which some of you are, I know, it is a stacked card. is going to be 5 stars all around. I'm going to call it now. 5-star matches all around.
Just a reminder, get your discounted tickets from our link to the discounted tickets to the Darryl Green jersey retirement ceremony.
I mean, when are you going to get a chance to see this again? You're not. We all grew up with Darryl Green.
And we're twice.
I'm sharing the page right now. It's a team sponsored Command This Day at the Park. We worked with them. This is a link provided by the team, and it's on our behalf. So I put the link in the chat. If you need more information, hit me up separately or hit any of us up. We'll give you the details. But you can go in here. You can view all the tickets that are available. These tickets are cheaper than SeatGeek. I promise you.
They are way cheaper than SeatGeek.
I promise you. We're going to be in section 328. Look at all these tickets
now.
117. This game is actually going on StubHub for like over 200 in many spots. So I'm telling you,
giving up to almost 50% because you're a fan of our podcast. All right,
hit the tickets. Get it done.
Tickets. I'm telling you. All right, you get discounted tickets. We're all going to be there. This is the first time all 3 of us have been in the same place at the same time. You need to be there. This is not a reunion, but a union of some kind here. And not only that, but it's going to be in red zone lot. It's a 4:00 game, which means you don't have to get up early, right?
Nope.
But you do get the tailgate. You can get drunk as fuck with us, eat some of Steve's good cooking, and have a great time.
That's right. Justin, we can't wait for you to move back east too, man.
And some of you can walk up to me, you can call me a fat fuck to my face, and I'm going to laugh because, hey, we're having a good time.
Hey, day drinking is always fun, man. Don't get to do it often. Day drinking is always fun. I'm just saying. If anyone wants this link or wants to talk more about it, you can hit us up.
Day beers.
Dev, you got any parting words, Dev?
Yo, you want blazing L with Dev in the parking lot? Come on, you know you do.
That's right.
There you go.
I'll probably be partaking as well. Hell, I'm the only one here who doesn't have to keep up his top secret clearance.
Not me. I will. I'll watch you guys and live vicariously through you. All right, guys. We'll be back. We'll be back Monday night to recap this game. And I don't know if Kevin will join us again on Monday. We'll see. But definitely probably will tune into his immediate post game live stream just to see what they're saying, and maybe we'll see we bring him back on Monday. But let's hope that we are victorious and celebratory, and then 5-1. We could be 5-1.
We're at the precipice.
5-1. But after this week, man, we're a third of the way through, and what we probably should do is go reevaluate all the old things we said about scheduling and records, and see where we stand moving forward, and readjust those predictions now that we've seen the team for a third of the season. Maybe we'll do that on Monday and relook.
This game is going to be a really good test on that.
Yeah, it will be. You know what? For Tipsy, for Badass Lord Tipsy, I think we owe it to ourselves to play that thing one more time. We got to play it, right? Frankie Louvu. All right, I'm gonna play it. I can't take it. I'm gonna play it. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Let's play this very quick. Let me turn this sound off here, and then we'll end it on a good note with some. Where is it? All right, here we go.
First thing you said, let's make sure identity tonight. And
For you, Lord Tipsy. There we go. We should probably end every episode with that.
Oh man, that gets me amped up.
That might just be a thing that we end every episode with that. So Brian, I got you. I just added you. I think I just found you. Yes, sir. I got you. I just sent you a friend request, man. Hit that friend request, and then I'll exchange my contact information with you. So yes, thank you, everyone. We appreciate everyone who tuned in. Be sure to like the YouTube video. So make sure you're subscribed. This audio from today's show will be out here in about 30 minutes. So you can always catch us on a replay on, Odyssey, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. iHeartRadio, wherever.
Pornhub. OnlyFans.
Yes. OnlyFans. Husky Muscle. Find us at Husky Muscle at OnlyFans.
Right.
I like how I'm the one with the OnlyFans.
You get to see this. Simply be dicks.
Have I really established myself as the show degenerate?
No, it's just a funny.
Absolutely.
You'd be probably right.
I'm a pimp named Duck Sauce, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm a pimp named
Black
Duck
rack.
It's funny. Someone said
he's Phil Croninger.
Hey, are we dressing up for Halloween? The Halloween episode?
We have been. I was Top Gun. I was Top Maverick last year. So
we probably will. I think I'll do some Pulp Fiction stuff maybe.
I had to laugh because someone said that that Dev had his porn name in his as his name here.
No, my porn name is Squirt Reynolds.
His porn name is Squirt Reynolds.
That's right.
That's right. So fellas, this year
Ebenezer Spoon.
Halloween is on a Thursday. So I don't think I'll be able to go podcast on a Thursday because I'll be out trick or treat with my kids. So you guys want to go podcasting Thursday night on Halloween yourselves?
I actually would be busy too.
So we'll either do a Wednesday or a Friday podcast that week.
Yeah,
and we'll dress
for Halloween.
Halloween's on a Thursday, so I'll be out with the kids trick or treating. So not podcasting here.
We play that Thursday,
huh?
We play that Thursday.
No, we play that Sunday.
Thank God for some kids because I was not going to go trick or treat.
Because that Sunday is November 3rd. Yeah. All right, guys, we will get on out of here. We appreciate you guys. What? What? You looking at the schedule? I have the schedule right here if you want.
Don't we play the Bears Thursday night?
No, it's a Sunday game because I was going to go to it with some friends.
When do we play? When we have a Thursday night game?
I'll tell you. So we played the Giants November 3rd.
The 14th against the
Eagles. 8:15. There we go. Right there. That should be a doozy.
Some we always play them Thursday nights.
I know. All good. All right, guys. We on out of here. See you Monday. Best of luck. We'll see you guys in the Facebook group for the live thread on Sunday. As always, peace and hail. We out. Cheers.